Just ahead on Crossroads, it's the 50th anniversary of Ivanhoe's. Celebrate on the busy serving line of a Grant County tradition.
The rain won't stop, and now local crops are in trouble. We'll get an update on flood damage from the Purdue Extension Office.
Back out to Ivanhoe's, we'll find out how you make one of the all-time favorites.
And Marion celebrates Juneteenth. Learn some of the story behind this African-American tradition. It's all just ahead on Crossroads.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Crossroads. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Shaylee Clark.
And we are at what has to be one of our favorite places, probably yours too, in Grant County, and that is Ivanhoe's in Upland. Believe it or not, this year, this summer in fact, the 50th anniversary of Ivanhoe's.
50 years of wonderful food for every person who has that sweet tooth.
And wonderful ice cream, which we've established a long time ago on this show. She doesn't like ice cream.
You know what? I realize it's a weakness, but Ivanhoe's has plenty of other food. I mean, have you tried their tenderloins?
I've heard about that. I've actually never had food. I always can't get past the ice cream, but also strawberry shortcake, which you don't have to get with ice cream. It's better that way.
That's my family's favorite, the strawberry shortcake.
I'm going to make that later in the show.
Oh, and I bet you enjoy that.
I did. So June 3rd, 1965, the family that would name it Ivanhoe's officially took over. We decided all the month of June, all the month of July, in fact, would be Ivanhoe's 50th anniversary. And what we decided to do was, since people come literally from all over the nation to be here, we wanted to find out just why it's become such a thing. So we spent some time on the line. At Ivanhoe's, there's the line.
Peacock not touch.
Patrick.
And then there's the line.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
It's all part of the experience, making Ivanhoe's a Hoosier tradition for 50 years. Manager Mark Sowers worked the line 27 of those and is still kind of surprised how far people will come just to dip in.
Family came in and the guy said that his daughter was listening to a radio station in Minnesota, and she had heard somebody mention something about Ivanhoe's, and they was going to be driving through Indiana, so she wanted to stop.
And they keep coming, maybe to bring their kids for the first time, maybe they read about it in some magazine. Over the years, Ivanhoe's built its own wall of tribute. Best of, Hoosier favorites, even the one thing you must try in Indiana. But better than reading the wall is hearing the fans.
It's very rewarding to know that a little town like this that you grow up in can have something that is nationwide, because even in Florida, people have heard of Ivanhoe's.
Everyone, like back home where we live, in Decatur, talk about it all the time.
It brings a lot of folks into the town that a lot of normally would just drive right past it on the interstate.
Ivan Slane started it all when he bought the smaller Wiley Drive-In 1965. The building's grown a little since then, so has the parking lot. There's more space to eat in now. Oh, they do have regular food too. But the biggest growth might be the ice cream menu, from just a few items to the famous 100 Club, which is really 200 if you consider shakes or sundaes. Sauer says even that 100 menu may change from time to time, but one thing hasn't, from Ivan to now.
Ivan's philosophy was always to serve the best product, not the cheapest, but the best. We use ground round hamburger. We use Hershey's chocolate syrup. Everything is top quality.
So pack up the car this summer, or fall, or winter, and join this half-century Hoosier tradition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Waiting, but not very long, for the soft, oozing magic, home globbed with love from Grant County.
A lot of responsibility to keep that magic going, though.
You know what I find so interesting about this place is Upland is not a big town. It's literally in the middle of nowhere, yet people from all over love coming to Ivanhoe's.
Well, lots of tradition, as we heard, and it's near a very big interstate in a very big state, and because of Taylor University, Indiana Wesleyan University, and just travel and word of mouth, has a very big reputation.
But even, people from all over, they're just like, oh, our friends talk about it. They talk about it everywhere. They talk about it all over the country. So I love being close to it because one, I get it whenever I want, and two, it's just amazing that that's near us.
Every
Such a
time
cool
I'm here, I
place.
think I want to join that 100 club. That's the 100 shakes on the menu and the 100 Sundays.
Start up, and then when you get your shirt, we'll do a whole feature on that on
Yeah.
Crossroads.
And you can just eat your tenderloin while I enjoy it.
I will eat my
all the ice
tenderloin,
cream.
and I will be happy.
A little bit later in the show, as promised, they're going to show me how to make that famous strawberry shortcake, and Shaylee doesn't get any.
Randall breaks his diet next on Crossroads.
But first, we'll get an update on potential crop damage from all that rain. The numbers from Purdue Extension educator Stacy Klepper when we come back.
Well, welcome back to Crossroads. We're on location at the Grant County 4-H Fair, and we are here with Purdue Extension educator Stacy Klepper.
And Stacy, we asked you here mostly because you're with Purdue and you're supposed to be responsible for the weather. It's Fair Week. Why couldn't you do better?
Hey, I did my best.
Well, really what we're here to ask you about is the crops, because we just found out from Purdue really this week, end of June, that there's a serious problem. All this rain that we've been having, including the showers we were dodging today out at the fairgrounds, it's got a serious impact. What is that impact statewide?
Yeah, statewide we're talking about approximately $300 million worth of crop damage. And this was actually before the rains that we got last night and this morning.
So what are farmers doing at this point because of that?
Not much. There's really not a lot that can be done at this point until we wait things out, see if things dry out and if there's any opportunities out there.
Well, when you say crops, let's break that down. How much of it is corn? How much is soybeans, if you have those kinds of percentages?
So we're talking corn and soybeans. Most of the corn in the county had been planted as planned. The big concern was the soybeans, because we have several fields that never were planted in the first place. And then those that have been planted have just been underwater constantly.
So when things like this happen, do farmers just have to push the limits on when they'll be able to harvest, or do they just have to say, we can't do it this year?
Right, that's one of the big concerns, because every day that the plants are stressed, they're not growing the way they should. And so if they even survive the large amount of moisture that we've had, it's going to push the harvest dates back, which makes that a real concern as well.
I know I was out of town the middle part of June when we first got the big wave of rains over and over again. And I was reading about a lot to the north and a lot in southern Indiana. How is Grant County breaking down in this report?
In the month of June, we've had anywhere from 9.5 to 12.5 inches, depending on where we're at in the county, and our average is about 4. So we are almost, in some places, 3 times the amount of moisture that we would normally get in June.
So do you know how many farmers approximately may be affected by this seriousness?
I would say, as far as those that are going to be affected, I would say it's going to be close to 100%, because even if they didn't get the extensive amount of rains, the large amount of rains, we've all gotten too much rain, even those that didn't get nearly as much.
And I know this much rain isn't something you see every year, but is it something you've seen in the past, and kind of how did farmers deal with that when it happened before?
Yeah, this is kind of not typical for us. The last several years we've been too dry during the month of June and July, so this is completely opposite. One of the positive notes is that about 80% of the farmers carry what's called crop insurance, and so basically that helps them cover their expenses that they've had. It's not something they're going to make any money off of, but it at least helps cover the expenses that they've already put out.
So crop insurance will cover a little bit of the loss, but you said, well, they're going to have some kind of yield out of this, no matter what, because the corn has substantially matured. Am I right on that?
Right. For the most part, the biggest concern we have now with the corn is nitrogen. Farmers should be applying typically nitrogen this time of the year, because that's one of the very important nutrients for corn. And with it being too wet, they're not able to get in there into the field and do that. And so it remains to be seen how much of an issue that's going to cause.
So is it looking like at this point right now that it's a lost cause, or is everyone still holding hope that things are going to turn out okay this season?
I think until we had the rains yesterday and last night and this morning, there was still some hope. For those that had gotten a large percentage of rain after the last day, then no, there's not a lot more to be done.
There were some sad kids here at the fairgrounds today because they didn't get to show horses, and we were disappointed because we wanted to show them too, but that's one of the reasons we wanted to talk to you, because we knew how serious this situation is for all farm families. What do you as the extension educator do as far as information, as far as support now, you know, to sort of ride this out for them?
Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to have resources available for those families that are relying on that income or that had relied on that income, helping them to maybe go through, look at other expenses and places that they can reduce to help subsidize this loss.
Well, thank you so much, Stacy, for giving us this information. It sounds like it's a rough year, but I mean, that's just the weather. No one can control it.
You never know what you're going to get, do you?
That's right.
It makes your job interesting. Well, we will be back at the fairgrounds a little bit later in the program to talk about a couple of things going on here. And if you haven't checked out the fair, the 4-H fair, and you missed it this year because of weather, there's always next year. In the meantime, when we come back, we'll go back to Ivanhoe's.
Randall's going to break a diet with one of Ivanhoe's best treats.
You know it. Welcome back to Crossroads, still on location for the 50th anniversary of Ivanhoe's, and Mark Sowers, the general manager, has graciously allowed me to give it my try here behind the counter. Now, I'm not officially an employee, and I'm not sure Mark would hire me, so we want you to know no actual customers are going to get the food that I make, right?
Yes.
But you have tons of employees you've trained to do this through the years. I mean,
Yes. We have about 60 on staff.
when you train someone to do shortcake or 100 different sundaes, how long does it take to get them up to speed?
In about 2 weeks, we try to get them where they have the concept.
Does that include memorizing
No.
all the menu?
That takes just a time of practice and over the years.
And who learns them faster, Indiana Wesleyan students who work for you or Taylor students? You can tell me.
Oh, well, it's probably pretty even.
Well, he is a good community service person. Well, what we're going to do today is the ever popular strawberry shortcake, and what, you know, with all the sundaes and stuff like that, what makes this such a big deal?
I don't know how it's become so popular, but the cake is fresh, baked daily, and it's just become a phenomenal how much of them that we sell.
It's critical. The shortcake is a big deal.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
the key.
so we're going to get the strawberries, and what he's going to do is show me the right way to do it, and then I'm going to try each one. So you just really pile on the strawberries.
And we try to pack them in around the edges of them, so that way as you eat it, there will always be a strawberry to
Oh yeah.
every bite.
And that's what makes it so good is that you just pack them on there. And even if I mess this up badly,
It'll still be edible.
the Crossroads crew is saying, "Oh, okay, we'll get some of that." So, any tips you want to give,
So-
Mark, that I mess this
Yep.
up?
The key is not to get too big of a spoon. That way you can pack it in
Oh,
there.
there you go. Because more strawberries are better.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
And just keep kind of working them in there.
Okay. Pack them all around.
Yeah.
Love
Now you can start loading the spoon up
and more on top. So the
Yes.
answer is pack and more. I like that since I love
There you
strawberries.
go.
All right, we're
Look
good
at
on
that.
that. All right.
And
Now
then
now some people just want whipped cream, but this is Ivanhoe's, so you've got to get whipped
whipped
cream,
cream and ice cream.
plus ice cream. Okay, so we're going to get that here.
The whipped cream is right under here.
Oh, the good stuff. There we go. This is what I used to stand at the refrigerator at my grandmother's house and just squirt it in my mouth. I won't do that here.
Yeah.
Health, safety codes and all that. Okay, so just half, right?
Yep.
Okay, and a little bit on the edge won't hurt anything,
Oh,
right?
no. Makes it better to eat.
And then, just simple enough, we're going to move to the ice
Ice
cream
cream.
because it's Ivanhoe's.
Gotta have ice cream.
All right, and this is the busiest machine in the whole place because it stays going with ice cream. So you just
And we
load that
just
up, Mark?
Pull that up, and it will just pile up on top of it.
Oh, I'm going to
Now
like
it's your
that.
try.
Okay, so anybody can work a soft ice cream machine, right?
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Oh my goodness. And there you go. So the secret is the ice cream plus the cake
Plus the strawberry.
tons of strawberries. And how do you keep the strawberry? Because I felt like I used half of them just there.
We go through a lot of strawberries.
And this goes way back in upland and tradition, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah. I don't know the years for sure, but I've been here 27 years and we've been doing strawberry shortcakes all 27.
And it still remains one of your most popular items.
Yes, sir.
50 years still going strong, and even I can't mess it up. When we come back, learn the story of Juneteenth as Marion celebrates freedom. Welcome back to Crossroads, back on location at the Grant County 4-H Fairgrounds, where it's a little empty right now. Weather has been an issue, as we were talking about earlier in the show. But one thing's clear, weather is not going to stop people from enjoying the different fun things to do through the summer.
They want their fair food. It doesn't matter if it's raining, cold, whatever. You come to get your funnel cake. That's what you do.
I think we set up over here hoping it was close to lunchtime, but I'm not sure enough. I'm seeing a lot yet there. But what I love about this time of year, and you can see it in this show, too many things to do, so many places to go, lots of people doing things. And one of those festivals that we've taken the whole show to before, and we're just too busy to get everywhere this time, is the Juneteenth Festival.
And Brianna Gar kind of shows how, although there are a lot of festivals going on, this festival has a bit of a special meaning to it.
A celebration of freedom. The Juneteenth Festival is a weekend for fellowship, togetherness, and remembrance.
Well, it's a wonderful tradition around here, and I mean, I just love how it's community-based and Christian-oriented. I just love everything about it. It brings us all together.
Juneteenth is the oldest known celebration, recognizing June 19, 1865, the day slaves in Texas received news of their freedom.
We're trying to get the community involved with it and understand what it is and why we should celebrate it. It's not a black thing, it's for everybody.
The Juneteenth Festival, I like it. It brought me here because of the fellowship with others, hearing good music and learning about a little bit of the history.
But Juneteenth is more than just a history lesson.
My favorite part about the Juneteenth Festival so far was the jazz.
I love the music.
I like the bands and everything, entertainment.
My favorite part is what's happening in 10 minutes is the music.
It is truly a celebration, and what better way to celebrate than with music and entertainment. Freedom for all men was originally written in the Constitution, but was not thoroughly put into practice until a century ago. The Juneteenth Festival helps the community celebrate this victory by bringing everyone together in the process. For Crossroads, I'm Brianna Gar.
Well, Shaylee, Brianna got a little taste of everything going on there. I know when we did the show there a few years ago and were able to talk to different things, I just became aware of what a great story this was and what a piece of American history that people need to remember.
Exactly, and I love how it's still going strong because I just think people need to keep remembering those things and get out in the community and meet these people and hear stories. So I love that they have a festival like this.
It's one of the great traditions in the African American community, and we like to remember it every June. The other great tradition, of course, for all of us is the 4-H Fair, which is still getting crowds even though it hasn't been great. So we hope you got a chance to do that. And if not, next year, third week in June, you'll have your chance, and maybe it'll actually be less rainy.
Hopefully better weather.
We actually were going to talk to some kids showing horses today, but that got canceled because of weather. So we're going to get the horses for you kids and people. We're going to see those horses next year, we hope.
Exactly. Don't forget, you can always send us a tip or give us an idea by emailing us at crossroads@nwes.edu. Again, that's crossroads@indwes.edu. Also, don't forget, you can always send us a letter, again with ideas. That's 4201 South Washington Street, Marion, Indiana, 46953.
And always, you can catch up on past episodes and segments of Crossroads. Look back over our 10-year history by going to wiwtv.com and putting the /Crossroads on there will take you right to our Crossroads page. And also, we've got Facebook and Twitter where we keep you up on everything that the television station is doing. That's facebook.com/WIWUTV. Be one of the hundreds who likes our page, or follow us on Twitter at WIWUTV. And unfortunately, we didn't get to get out here to the fair at the biggest moment, the place where it's all packed, but we know lots of people in Grant County did take advantage of it in between the storms.
Exactly. It's a fun thing to do in the evening. Bring the family out here, get some good food, ride some rides.
It's absolutely. So for everyone who's been a part of this show, our friends at Ivanhoe's and Stacy from Purdue and all the people who have put this together and kept us kind of hopping around Grant County, thanks so much for watching.
Thank you so much. The Crossroads of Life bring people together, and that's what we try to do here each week.
Thanks for watching, everyone. So long.